Hey guys, welcome to the Liberal Hive Mind, a channel solely focused on exposing the abundant hypocrisy of the left. You know, back during the Biden administration and even in the 2016 era, there was always this idea of Trump becoming fully unleashed. And this concept was always connected to Donald Trump's second term, which is honestly probably why the Democrats tried so hard to stop him in the first place. I guess they really didn't want the unleashed version of Donald Trump, but in the end, Donald Trump did in fact get his second term. A little bit delayed, a little bit down the line, but as they say, better late than ever, and it seems as though all the speculation of Donald Trump coming in totally unleashed, a different man, Trump version 2.0 you might say, it seems as though it was spot on and even in a way, Democrats contributed to it. They threw everything at this guy, and he just embraced it and took it all on. And then, of course, the revenge tour started, which was his 2024 campaign, and now it's all happening, and clearly Donald Trump is embracing it. He's embracing the bad boy image, as he recently put up his infamous mugshot up on the wall in the Oval Office. He's clearly sending a message, and clearly there's some symbolism going on here. Donald Trump is fully unleashed. Donald Trump doesn't freaking care anymore. It's mugshot Donnie in the White House. Let me show you guys exactly what's going on and why it's so important. We got some stuff to get into, so let's roll the tape. Alright folks, so take a look at this little video right over here and notice what's on the wall. You know what immediately came to mind when I saw that? They've created a frickin' monster. You know, they created a Trump beast that would have never existed had they not done everything that they did, and that's what that symbolizes to me. In other words, it's entirely their fault. The leftoids, clearly, are their own worst enemy. You know, they could have just taken the L in 2016, slightly adjusted, let Donald Trump have his 2 terms, and then actually slowly tried to rebuild and win over the American people with good policies. But no, instead what these psychopaths did was spy on Trump, smear him, defame him. They manufactured heinous fake scandals that were beyond disgusting, like the PP tape scandal. They spent years throwing everything at him, which only served to make him even more powerful. Then they attempted to force upon the country this DEI gender cult nightmare policy stuff, not to mention all the other corruption, and now it's all backfiring so spectacularly. Had they just backed off a little bit, had they let America function, I think the reckoning that we're seeing right now wouldn't have been nearly as brutal. And honestly, they probably would have been able to run cover a whole lot better for themselves. That's the other interesting element. You know, the wider story of this unleashed Donald Trump. In a way, Trump was naive to most of it during his first term. I mean, look at the decisions that he made. He came in thinking it was going to be simple. He'd just win the election, show up in Washington, and people would work with him. But that's not what happened at all. Even his own party was working against him actively. And slowly but surely over time, over the last 8 years before the 2024 election, Donald Trump started to get it. You know, they started to expose themselves. They exposed the rot in the judicial system. They exposed the rot in all these federal agencies. The dishonest media, of course, completely exposed itself as well. And slowly but surely, Donald Trump started to get it. You know, I'd argue that Donald Trump is 1,000 times more politically savvy today than he was back in 2016. He went from a businessman who probably had a lot of faith and trust in the American system, who was mostly running on his discontent and discomfort with slight policy issues, like immigration, foreign trade, the economy, stuff like that, to all of a sudden over the last X amount of years, really seeing it all, but most importantly, seeing through it all. And I think Democrats only have themselves to blame for that. You know, the unelected bureaucratic class that's now running around flailing their arms all over the air, claiming that they're victims of the orange man's fascism. They brought it upon themselves. They exposed themselves. Like I always say, the Democrats totally overplayed their hand. And this 2024 election, I mean, it was do or die. It was make or break for them. It wasn't that they wanted to win, it was more that they needed to win. And now their reaction, in my view, is telling of what's going on. They're scared of this because they did this to him. And you could see it in his face. That was the moment where things got so real for Donald Trump. That was the moment where they truly crossed the Rubicon. And this great American man, this American patriot, this former president, saw just how far they were willing to go to protect their power, their greasy grip on the Washington machine. That was the moment, I believe, where everything changed. And that's not to diminish what happened with the assassination attempt and all that, but this was really the moment. This was the moment where a brand new Trump was born. And now the left is terrified, and frankly, they should be terrified. And I'm not saying that because they're at risk of persecution, no. They should be terrified because accountability is rearing its ugly frickin' head. They've essentially backed themselves into a corner, and now Trump is looking for it all. He's revealing it all. His first order of business was taking a look at what was going on at USAID. And now step number 2, the IRS.
Do you expect to close the IRS, or what are you expecting?
No, I don't expect it, but I think that the Internal Revenue Service will be looked at like everybody else. Just about everybody's going to be looked at.
And this probably never would have happened had the Democrats not acted the way that they did, just like with USAID. Again, the story here, this repeating pattern, is the Democrats and their unelected bureaucratic cronies bringing it upon themselves. You know, the left-wing talking heads make it seem as if all of this stuff is coming out of left field, but it's not. There's always context. Why did Trump lift the hood at USAID? Because they were defying an executive order. And Trump's a whole lot wiser now. He knows their games. Instantly, he was on it. And now the entire department has been dismantled. Well, same thing with the IRS. What are you leftoids going to go on the record defending the IRS? Yeah, let's see how far that takes you. But let's talk about the IRS. Just yesterday we were talking about this. Why was the IRS auditing Matt Taibbi the exact same time that he was exposing the Twitter files? The timing was way too convenient. You know, again, they weaponized the IRS to go after political dissent. They essentially went to the top of the mountain, waving their hands, saying, "We are corrupt. We are corrupt. Look at us." And now Trump's going to get to the bottom of it. I guarantee you the files still exist. The IRS better have a damn good explanation for why they would audit Matt Taibbi for the first time out of nowhere the moment he was breaking a story that was so bad for the Biden administration. And we could go on and on. The CIA, the FBI, as if they don't have skeletons in their closet. The Steele dossier, what they did with the Hunter Biden laptop, I mean, the list goes on. The Democrat machine shamelessly weaponized the legal system and every single government agency, it seems. They abuse their power, they abuse their positions to attack Donald Trump and anyone around him, and they drained millions of taxpayer dollars to do it. Keep in mind, that's what funded all of these bogus investigations. They did it on a federal level, they also did it on a state level, and now after years of abusing their power and weaponizing every government agency, going after Trump, going after his supporters, going after independent journalists, now they want to cry about government overreach. Now they want to whine and complain about Trump coming after them. Too bad. This is your own fault, Democrats. You did this. You created a new version of Donald Trump that likely would have never existed had you not abused your power and crossed the Rubicon. You had your opportunity to play fair, but you didn't. You went all in on corruption, and you gaslit the American people throughout the entire process. And now, well, you're under the microscope. And that is what is top of mind when I saw that little clip of Trump posting his mugshot on the wall in the Oval Office. You have unleashed the beast. You poked the wrong bear, just like you poked the wrong bear with Elon Musk. Again, weaponizing the press and weaponizing the government against him the moment he worked on providing transparency to the American people. Accountability is coming. Trump doesn't have to worry about a re-election. He doesn't have to worry about placating to the neocons in his party. They're all pretty much gone. There's only a couple left in the Senate. Donald Trump has a score to settle, and he's got the mandate to do it. Anyways, that's pretty much what I got for you guys on this one. Hopefully you enjoyed the video. If you did, make sure to leave a like and possibly subscribe. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.